Hello, welcome to another McLaren Fans podcast. This week we are joined by Sarah. Say hello, Sarah.
Hello, Sarah.
And joined by Andy as well. Say hello.
Hey, everyone.
And we're also joined by Steve, who's new on this podcast. We've not had him on before, but he's been following us for a while and chatted with us and everything else like that. So we thought it was about time we got another fan on and had a chat with him as well. Hello, Steve. Say hello, Steve.
Hello, Steve. Hello, Amanda.
Welcome to the podcast, Steve.
Yeah, welcome to the madness that is the McLaren Fans podcast.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I see a nice collection of caps there just behind you, which is always good to see when McLaren fans come on and have all of their stuff there. I think there's some signatures on one of them.
Yes, there is. Which one is it? The Lando Norris one that I won from you guys.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
See, when we do competitions, we do them right. People get them caps. with the
Yeah.
signatures on. Brilliant. Good to see
I'll be
that.
keeping the tag on too.
Excellent. Right. Well, for everybody out there, we weren't really planning to do a podcast after Australia.
Why is that, Andy? Why were we not planning to do a podcast?
Because none of us could decide whether we wanted to or not.
Because we were a little bit down in the dumps. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
We were a little bit down in the dumps.
we were. But, things change. And I've got a theory behind that. It's a crazy theory, but we'll get to that later. But let's go. Let's have a bit of a podcast after Australia from the land down under. But first things first. What I do want to say is anyone who follows us might know one of our followers, Jackie from Melbourne. And if you know Jackie, you'll know West the bear. Unfortunately, in the last week, West has gone missing somewhere in Melbourne. If you are out in Melbourne at the Grand Prix and you're listening to this, if you find him, please let us know. We'll pass on any notes or anything else like that. If not, if you're just a McLaren fan, an F1 fan, please spread the word. We'll retweet one of their tweets on the actual account. And as you can see, Sarah's holding up a picture of the bear that's gone missing. So I hope we can find Westy soon and he's back. And when he's back, maybe we'll have him on the podcast then. So let's hope that has a nice, happy ending. And Westy goes home soon. Right. Speaking of
People
You gotta
going.
say bears.
people going, missing bears.
Not bears. Not bears.
Right. Anyone here surprised to see James Key leave his role?
No.
Not at all.
He's a scapegoat.
Well,
So-
is he?
Oh,
though?
controversial.
Somebody
controversial.
has to. No, so that's the debate to have, isn't it? Somebody always has to change something for people to believe that we're going to be better going forward. Okay. So
Not to
in the-
believe, not to
No.
believe, to be better going forward.
Okay, there's two sides to this. So let me play devil's advocate here. After the Honda thing, Eric Boullier left.
Yep.
Was it Eric's fault that the entire relationship with Honda went sour?
Or how successful has Eric been since leaving?
Well, he's now in charge of the French Grand Prix, isn't he? So he's doing all right.
Wow.
He's just doing different stuff. but-
Yeah.
I always feel like somebody has to pay the price, and then everyone feels better and we move on. And if you don't do that, then people stick talking about the same thing. Okay, so do we actually believe that James Key is responsible for all our troubles in the world?
Not all our troubles in the world.
No,
But
not
he is
not
the
world
person at
poverty
the
and
head
world
of that
peace.
triangle. He's the man who's responsible for all the other people, the women and men underneath him doing their job. And it's really easy to say, your performance targets are this, you've missed them.
I
And Zach
agree.
did come out and say that. He did come out and say
did.
we've missed those targets. I mean, I don't think this is a decision that was made in the last week whatsoever. I think this has probably been made
Very true.
mid-January, even earlier January, something like that.
But one thing I would say is he has now been replaced with 3 people. Am I right?
Yeah.
So anyone that's done a job for a long time and then been replaced with multiple humans would often find that quite insulting. And in a way, it's like saying, we didn't give you what you needed to do your job right because we've now had to replace you with 3 people to make 1 person to do everything that you've done. So we put you under extra pressure, we put you under extra load, etc., etc. So that's kind of what I think. And I'm talking around it a bit just to play devil's advocate there, but yeah.
What about
But
you, Steve?
also-
What do you think?
So I did hear on Twitter that when the budget cuts were announced, not budget cuts, the
Cost cap.
the cost cap, McLaren got rid of too many head engineers, more than what they should have, and now they're doing a recruitment drive. So maybe James Key didn't get the right people in that he needed to get the car up to scratch this year.
Yep.
But unfortunately, if he's the head of a department, he holds the responsibility.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think, Steve, what you just said, if we've got rid of James Key and his wage, because of the cost cap, if we can employ 5 aerodynamic engineers and just slightly promote 3 people to a little bit more money, a little bit more responsibility, it's a good way of using the cost cap and using the available funds. I hadn't considered that, but what you said actually spikes.
Speaking like a true head of IT there, Andy.
Yeah. But I would imagine the guy that's coming from Ferrari, whose name I can't remember at the moment, but he's on his way. He's probably not cheap, so it swings and roundabouts. But hey, we are where we are, and I feel better for knowing that we've made a change that will make everyone feel more positive.
My worry is that the gentleman we've had from Ferrari, he's not coming until next January, so we won't see his input until 2025.
Yeah.
We've got a few other guys, some from Red Bull coming across as well. We've seen what Aston Martin have done with the Red Bull knowledge. And if that comes soon. So my worry as well is James Key's gone. We've just got our brand new wind tunnel. Now, either of those factors could be the changing decisive factor. James Key could have been great with the new wind tunnel, or the new wind tunnel could have been useless with James Key. We won't know. But either way, I just want us to get better.
I think something had to be done. I think there's also been probably pressure from higher up. And I don't mean Zach's level, I mean higher than that. That, come on, guys, you were doing well. What's gone on? Something needs to change. Be seen to being active, making decisions and being a CEO and making those tough decisions. Now, there was a lot of people calling for Zach Brown's head. Not so convinced by that. I'm not.
Zach Brown is a nice man who we've met, when we've all been around places, and came in with his commercial knowledge. Now, he is a racer. We know he's a racer. We know he loves racing. But it's Zach that's covering that car with those names that are paying for all the things we want. Zach's more than just a team principal. He's the CEO. He does a lot bigger things than that,
Yeah.
I would add 2 things. One, I've heard that James Key's going to go to Williams to work with James Vowles. I think that's probably a good move for them.
Hello, James. It's James.
Yeah. Hi, James. It's James. Exactly. And secondly, Andreas Stella, he needs to make his mark on his department and his team. Now he's in charge of everything as well. This is probably part of it. But I'm getting a real feeling of confidence from the messages he's putting out after the races and things like that. I don't know if you watched his latest video, people on listening. If you haven't done, have a look. But I get a really good feeling. And the one thing he said yesterday was, we remain humble. I really like that phrase. This is a guy that wants to do well, but he's not, ostentatious about it. He's careful with his words. So it gives me faith.
Do you know what I like about latest video? He's clearly very nervous because someone's giving him a pen to twiddle with.
Yeah.
And
Keep his little fingers busy.
Yeah. But he's doing the video. He's letting us in on that a little bit more information, which we absolutely love.
Yeah.
And it's a very different persona. Like there's some big shoes to step into, and he's doing it in a very different way, which he's not trying to be anyone else. He's trying to be him. I quite like that.
Yeah. definitely. Maybe he's a little bit out of his comfort zone with speaking to social media, but very glad that he's doing it because that's how we make a connection. So
Yeah.
Right. I think we've covered that pretty much now. Let's get on to the race weekend, eh?
did something happen?
Eh?
Did something
What?
happen?
Well, yeah. What happened? What happened, Sarah? Go on. You can say it.
I'd like to say
Well, go on.
we got fucking double McPoints. Yay!
Hey.
Double
We did.
McPoints.
We
Yeah,
did.
yeah. And I was so happy. And I hoped for it. I bet on Sky Bet as I always do, but when it actually happened, boom.
Yeah. Do you know what? Well, I was going to say this later on in this sort of agenda and stuff, but might as well say it now that we did what we needed to do, which is keep our nose clean all race
Hmm.
and absolutely just mop up when everyone else lost their heads around us. And I
Yep.
was thinking, this could be our most important race of this season. We've gone into it expecting absolutely zero on the points board, essentially. The race has turned into a chaotic race, and basically what's happened is we've just been there to pick up the crumbs, and ultimately that's where we need to be at this point. If this Baku upgrade is good and makes us midfield competitive, let's be honest, we're not going to just jump up to the top, but it makes us midfield competitive in some respects, pushes a bit further up that grid, then you know what? We might be looking at the end of the season that 12 points might be the difference between us finishing 4th and 5th. And that might be that we might look back at that and go, oh, yeah, we beat so-and-so by 12 points, but actually it could be down to this race.
But how different we look after this weekend. After the last race, we were quite down. We had no points. We were worried if we were going to score points at the next race. We didn't know where we were going to be. And we were all down in the dumps about it. And now suddenly we're 5th in the constructors. Other teams, look at Alpine, both cars taken out, etc., etc. How different things look today than they did. I was going to say this time yesterday, but it wasn't, of course, because it was so bloody early in the morning.
What's brilliant is we are literally 14 points behind Ferrari.
Yep.
3 races in, 14.
That sums it up, doesn't it, really?
Is that because Ferrari are having a stinker as well, though, really?
They are. So,
but it
we
could happen
were-
to anyone, yeah? It could happen
Yeah.
to anyone.
Exactly, yeah.
we were in a position to mop up points. You had Leclerc, Albon, Russell, Sainz with his 5 points, Ocon and Perez questionable, all in front of us. And that's a lot of people in front of us before going out. And we just moved up. We didn't put a foot wrong, really. I mean, Piastri came in for a stop for a red flag, but you can't call that. That's just what the game is. I don't think we put much wrong at all.
Yeah. What about you, Steve? What were your thoughts on the race?
The race, one word, chaos.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think
you kind of get one of two races in Australia, don't you? You kind of get a procession, or you get something as chaotic as that, don't you? And
but I think the practice sessions and even qualifying didn't lend itself to the race because the weather was totally different. There's no way you could prepare for the race really, because it was really, really sunny on the Sunday, and then overcast and raining over the other sessions. So that nobody had any idea how the tires were going to run, 100%. But yeah, it was chaos, and I think we proved that every race is a marathon and not a sprint. If you can keep your nose clean, run your race, you'll get your rewards.
Got to finish.
Just good segue there that you said a marathon, not a sprint. Now, Andy, did you run it the weekend? Did you do a half marathon this weekend?
I did do a half.
Yeah,
I did Brighton full, which is why my face is a bit sunburned.
Right. So you did a marathon this weekend. Mark, who's normally on the podcast with us, did Berlin half marathon.
Who did he do it with, Andy?
Me, Grizzly. Yeah.
And I stayed in bed.
Yes. So, but if you think back to a couple of years back, the last time I was doing one of these half marathons, we won in Monza. Then last year, I was doing a half marathon in Mallorca, and we did well again. There's a bit of a trend
Yeah.
here, right?
Stop watching the races, Andy.
No, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that. I think maybe, kind of like, maybe, and Andy's obviously done a full marathon. Mark's done a half marathon. I've done a half marathon, and we've done quite well. But I think to push us to that next level, I think, Sarah, you need to come and do a half marathon with us. And then
that would
maybe we'll
kill
win
me.
that weekend.
I think my blood pressure tablets and me would struggle with that immensely.
It's obviously the missing piece of luck that we need.
Do you know what was
Anyway,
lovely
sorry
this
about that.
weekend?
What?
What was lovely this weekend was the race was so early because it was Australia that
Yeah.
we could watch the race before going out for a run.
And go back to sleep.
Well, for some of you, yeah. But like the practice sessions, did anyone get up for the practice sessions?
No, I flicked and watched
No.
a bit of it, but no.
No.
I stupidly did.
It's a lot easier to watch the Australian Grand Prix in Australia, I've found.
Oh yeah, undoubtedly. But that made me feel so sorry for everyone that's not on a European time zone.
Yes,
Because this
that's
is
their
their
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some dedication there, isn't there, around the world for some of these race times and stuff.
So I liked your marathon theory, but I'm going to debunk it. The reason we did well is because I went to bed with my McLaren shirt
Blimey.
over the top of my PJs. And
Right.
I think that's the answer to it.
Does everyone, just completely a side question, does everyone have a shirt to watch for the races? Do they have their lucky shirt?
Yeah, I have a superstition shirt, yeah.
Steve?
Yeah, I usually wear my polo shirt, but on the Australian Grand Prix, I was in my pajamas.
Forevermore.
Yeah.
I put my shirt on in bed because I always wear that season shirt. I always wear that one.
Yep.
Yeah. I wonder if any of the listeners out there have got any like bizarre, strange sort of superstitions that they do for every race, include, revolving around McLaren merch.
I pray for the one day that I wake up and have chocolate and waffles for breakfast and we win, because I can do it forevermore.
You can do it anyway, mate. You can do it anyway.
Yeah.
Corley wasn't great for us, was it?
No.
No.
Oh, was it? I thought Oscar was kind of nearly. He was lapping the sort of similar to Lando. Just had a little bit of which is gonna come in time. He's gonna a bit of experience and stuff like that. He's gonna some of these little I don't even want to call them mistakes or errors. They're just experience points that he's gonna get. And the guy's gonna fly at some point. He looks fast. Looks like we've made the right move to me.
It's probably
sorry,
a big.
fans.
Yeah, sorry, Dan fans. Yeah, I know. It's like great. Yeah, it's his home races in Australia, but there's a lot of. Oh, Andy's just lit up the room there. There's a lot of stuff that comes with that for him. And then having lots of fans on the way in, not a moment's peace, lots of media. It must have been a high pressure weekend for him off the track. So I think he did very well. Yeah, and he's ticked that box. I've done my home race and I've scored points. Excellent. Did I mention the points?
We got a lot of double points.
Thought I might have done.
So it was an interesting race, wasn't it? So we had, 3 red flags. I think the most important red flag for us was actually on lap 8, Alex Albon's, because some cars had pitted and that pushed us up a bit more and gave us a free pit stop, which really helped later on. One of the overtakes, sorry?
It removed a car from in front of us.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Lando getting past Hulkenberg was also important and a great overtake.
What a move.
Yeah. And then just to kind of get to the sort of what I might just call the last 5 laps of restarting confusion.
Chaos.
was we were actually 6th and 7th at one point when that restart was happening, and
Yep.
cars were flying off and everything else like that, which would have been kind of great. But I'm not going to complain about a 6th and an 8th position and 12 points in the bag. But we were claiming everything that was getting thrown at us at one point, and like thinking, well, everyone else just plays silly buggers and crashes into each other, and we keep our noses clean. We could have even had a 4th and 5th. It was, yeah. So, yeah, I think it was like you say, a chaotic race. Go on, Andy.
Don't forget Piastri's pass around the outside of Sonoda.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that was good as well,
That
wasn't it? Yeah.
was a pass.
So, I mean, this is the thing you see, right? I just looking at it and watching it whilst we're going, oh, you know what? Sorry, McLaren dog. It was a dog of a car. Still going to say it, but I still think that car is where it hinders us is straights and DRS and qualifying, whereas actually in race pace we're not too bad. Lando was lapping at the same pace as Alonso and Hamilton at one point, so
yep.
But I guess what we don't know at that point is whether they're saving tires or whatever. So, go on, Steve.
But if you look at the last couple of seasons, I don't think McLaren have performed greatly in our practice sessions anyway, because you can look at on Twitter and Facebook, and people are so negative. People who look at the timing charts on practice sessions, then head straight to social media, and they're so negative about McLaren. And then when it comes to the race, we're always like top 10 finish with Lando and Carlos. Maybe not so much with Lando and Daniel, but I can see the future's bright with Oscar and Lando.
I like that. The future's bright. The future's papaya.
I think you're right. We do our thing in practice. I don't think we turn up the engine. I don't think we go for a glory run. We rarely do a glory run at the end, actually. I've noticed that this season we're not bothering with a glory run.
We've got testing to do.
But it must be bad for the drivers. They're going to go from testing, practice, into quali run to then immediately have to turn it up. I guess that's why everyone gets the last 10 minutes of FP3 to just nail it and get their braking spots. But maybe they're good enough.
Seem to be doing all right at the moment. I certainly didn't expect us to do as well as we did this weekend without an upgrade. In my head, it was like, yeah, we're not going to be great till Baku, just park it.
Yeah, well, hopefully, we've got 4 clear weekends or 4 clear weeks now till Baku that we can add some stuff to the car. I mean, let's be honest. Most of the upgrades that are coming through now were started 2 months ago.
Yep.
So, whether James Key has still got his kind of fingerprints on those or not, who knows? But I wouldn't think we see anything dramatically change with the car until after the summer break, as in shape, look, Red Bullish kind of style of it, really. So
everything would have been planned. The next 3-4 months worth of developments would be planned, surely. Give it a bit of time.
Yeah.
But did I mention? Not sure if I mentioned.
That's one for the YouTube followers.
Hang on.
Double McPoints.
There we go.
It's the important thing of the weekend.
Can we pour a little love and empathy for Carlos Sainz?
Yes.
Yes, go for it.
I still have a place in my heart for Carlos. He did so well for us. We didn't leave under a cloud or anything, did he? So I always watch where he's at. I was happy when he won at Silverstone, and then I could have cried with him yesterday morning because you could hear his heart breaking, and you knew why. Because 5-second penalty after a safety car, when everyone's bunched up together, puts you at the back.
Turn 1 incident on a restart.
That's a racing incident.
There's a
it's
phrase
always,
for it.
Yeah. It's always a racing incident. And even Alonso said he thought it was too strict. So, yeah.
Hey, but Logan Sargent can just smash up the back of someone and not even mentioned.
Yeah. Do you know what what I was also thinking is we're 3 races in. We've got 3 rookies on the grid. Oscar, Logan Sargent, and I'm gonna call De Vries a rookie. I know he's raced before.
He's a kind of rookie. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like his first proper full season, isn't it? So we'll do
Yeah.
that. And I think that out of all of them, Oscar's performed the best. I wouldn't say he's in the best car out of all of them at this point or anything like that. But I think racecraft and what we can see certainly seems to be not well, kind of head and shoulders above a few of the others. But I don't know. I just kind of, even the sort of media side of it and everything, he seems quite well grounded, well suited to the team. So I think it's been a great move so far.
The points back you up as well.
Yep.
Piastri's the only one out of those 3 to score points.
Yeah.
It's weird because I expected Nick De Vries to be so much stronger, given his background. I also have a little bit of a soft spot for him because he was a McLaren junior and for so long. So I was kind of hoping to see him do well. Obviously not in conflict with us at all. But yeah, Oscar's doing his job. That's what he's here to do.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Okay, right. Well, that's all the notes I've got for the race. Anything else anyone wants to bring up? I did not double McPoints again. I tell you what, I did notice that we've got a new range in the McLaren store.
Have we?
Yeah. It's
The
not a double
yearbook's out.
McPoint.
They've
The
not
yearbook.
advertised it all, but the yearbook is out.
Right, okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. But yeah, we've got like an active performance wear range.
The Castor range, yeah.
Yeah. And I picked up.
If you're a marathon person, that probably suits you down to the ground, eh?
Well, I picked some up, and I've worn some of it this weekend. It's been really nice. I've been quite impressed with it. Given some of the shite we've had over the year from other companies,
with the peely off stickers, yep.
it makes an absolute sort of welcome change, stuff that doesn't just fall apart after 2 washes.
How do you know you're a McLaren fan? Because your logos are in the washing basket.
Yeah.
What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, I think the Castore range is great. And I think they're using it's a shrewd business move by going into F1 because they can sell their sportswear across a platform which we can charge a higher price for. And their stuff is really comfortable. Sizing is good. The colors are good. The logos don't peel off.
Yep.
I think it's really good. And the performance range is really good as well. I got my eyes on some of that. Yeah, all around happy. I think Castore they also do Red Bull's clothing now as well.
Yeah, they do.
So,
started this year with Red Bull, haven't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done quite a few cricket and football.
Yeah, England cricket.
Yeah. But when they first came into football, they had a real reputation of it being really poor quality. But it seems that, like, at least in the last 2 years, the quality of what they produce now is a lot better than it used to be.
Yeah.
And the stuff this year, I bought the team shirt, and it's one of the most comfortable ones ever. It's fantastic.
I still have to say my favourite bit of kit to wear at the moment, though, is my Lando long-sleeved T-shirt that I got from his range recently with the signature logo on the front.
Oh, yeah.
It's soft, it's warm, it's cozy. I'm a girl. I'm looking for things that are soft,
Talking of being a girl and shopping, TK Maxx. TK Maxx have got a lot of last year's gear in for quite cheap, but also a couple of t-shirts.
Unless you live in Leeds, there's nothing there whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, they had a couple of their website now as well. They've got a couple of t-shirts that are custom designed for TK Maxx. They weren't released anywhere else. Yeah, because they've got the word McLaren across them, but it's printed on rather than the ones in the McLaren shop were the 3D embossed ones. So it's kind of, but it's still cool.
Ah.
Like 25 quid for a McLaren t-shirt. How can you go wrong?
I'm gonna Google it.
On other notes, Steve does own one of my favorite ever McLaren hats. It's currently just over his left shoulder.
The splatty one.
Yeah, I think that it was at an era when we were pure like papaya coloured hats. We brought that out, and it's like, okay, we can do something different. We were allowed
This is
to
the
wear
Mexico
not
one,
papaya.
I
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I like the design, but I like to wear a 40 cap, not a flat cap. So
I like 50.
see, I would like that as a I like me curve. I've got a round
I
head.
feel like I'm missing out here. I don't have a cap on here.
Do you
So
want
like,
one? I'll send you.
I
send
can
me
get you
one
one.
then.
I have a few in the back here.
just chuck it over. Chuck it over, Andy. Just throw it now.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. How about that one?
Yeah, just throw it. I'll catch
Throw it to him. Go on.
Can you
Let's
get it
do
on?
this. Have you got one
Right.
there?
Hang
Yeah.
on. Oh, it's just landed in the other room. 1 minute.
He's just landed in the other room. This is going to be the best fake ever.
That just completely knocked my camera right off. These are the ones that they give you for free. Like they're the
Yeah, with the stitched on
boring
badge.
ones.
Yeah.
But-
They're better than nothing, mate. They're
Hey,
nice.
I'll take a freebie. Don't get me wrong. Give me a freebie.
And-
I'm well happy.
I like
There
the
you
fact
go.
that on the
Got it now.
hey, it's changed colour on the way.
I could have
Because
thrown
it's travelled all that way north.
I do like the colours of this new cap, and I like the fact that the plastic on the back is orange. Is I nearly said orange then. Is papaya and blue. I didn't say it. I stopped myself. But I wish they'd go back to the fabric bit on the back. I don't like the snapbacks on it.
I don't think
Because
you're
it's
going to get many
plastic.
of the fabric ones now with new era, are you?
But I like
No.
them.
Yeah, they all seem to be the snap, don't they, at the back?
Maybe even release the same cap with both backs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could
'Cause I
take a
think-
vote. We could take a vote.
Yeah. Have we
I
found,
think,
have
I
we
think
found
one
any?
of the ranges.
Go on. Sorry, Steve. Go on.
Sorry, I think one of the range for new era is 40, and the other one's 40, 50 or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but they have got
Yeah.
like particular names to them. And I think it depends on the strap on the back.
And so the 940 is more of a round one, like Sarah's modeling. And then I do 950 because I got a big fat head, so I need a squarer one. But they don't do the 950 without a driver number on it. They do the 940 without a driver number on it. So you have to
That's
choose
why
Lando or Oscar.
I decided to just buy the team cap because I don't want to favour one driver on my head. But you know.
Yeah.
Other point for the weekend that I forgot to mention, whilst we've got a few minutes left.
Hmm.
Plenty of Jensen this weekend on Sky, people.
Oh, here we go. Right, and that's the end of the
Yeah,
podcast.
I
now,
have to say, you know, there was a lot of Jensen. Did you see the moment when Kylie Minogue went gooey over Jensen? I know how she feels. I felt that flutter myself. She went all gooey over Jensen. She was all like, but yeah, Jensen instead of Martin Brundle. I love Martin Brundle. I miss him when he's not there, but I think Jensen does a fine job, and I think he brings good insights to the commentary box. Plus, I like his voice.
I'll give you that he's better than Nico Rosberg. Oh,
Well,
Sorry,
that's
I
not
just-
hard, is it?
He's got fancy hair.
yeah.
Yes.
Nico Rosberg.
Right. I think we'll end it there then. That's all we've got time for this time, and we'll be back after Baku, where hopefully we're getting some more double McPoints. Baku. And our upgrades have come through, and we're a bit faster, less draggy. Everything else that we hope for. So yeah, join us then, and yeah, fingers crossed. And,
Fingers crossed. Yeah,
yeah.
all round. Yeah.
over and out.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No worries.
Thanks for bringing us,
Thanks for
Steve.
joining us.